Episode number 211.
I'm building this toolbox of skills that helps me to be able to cope or helps me get through things or helps me to create a positive mindset. And I want people to see that through your struggle, what are the tools that you built?
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, I'm fired up today and we are going to be feeling in the buff because we have our featured guest, Jenn Taylor. Jen, are you ready to be real?
I am ready to be real.
Bring the fuego. Let's bring the fuego today. Jenn is the mom of 18 folks. And also, which is amazing, is she is the naked podcaster. And she had me on her show. And she got us all fired up over there on her great show, The Naked Podcaster. But Jenn, tell us a little bit about your story. The mom of 18, she is a storyteller. She's been doing podcasts, folks, for many years now. She has an awesome show, but also tell us how and how's your day going today first?
Well, first of all, my day is fantastic and I'm ecstatic to be here.
Absolutely.
So that's first.
There we go, girl.
As far as we're going to do it.
Yes.
As far as the story, I grew up on the street.
Really?
I was in the same situations that most foster kids are in. So I definitely had a calling to do foster care. My third grade teacher made such a significant difference in my life. I knew that it was possible to make a significant difference in the life of another child who felt like they weren't worth it.
Wow.
So I was pregnant 7 times, had 4 kids out of that, went through infertility, which I guess contradicts 7 pregnancies, but it doesn't have to all make sense.
Right, exactly.
Those were the surprises, though. I did not expect to be able to get pregnant, stay pregnant, have a baby. You know what that's like.
Yes.
And then I did foster care, and that was more the planned kids. So
That was planned.
I adopted 5, and I had 5 that aged out. 1 was a foreign exchange student, 3 aged out, 1 was very long term. So they kind of never left, but their parents' rights were never terminated, so I couldn't adopt them.
Got you.
But they never reunified either. So they were kind of in that middle ground.
But they wanted to be there. So they wanted to be there. They considered you mom.
They did. Wow. So that's 14 if you're keeping track, if you can
14,
count.
Folks.
That's 14.
Put your calculators together here, folks. Let's go. And then tell us how you got the other 4, which is with your man, right?
Right. So I was divorced. I did one of the adoptions and 4 of those extra kids on my own as a single mom.
Wow.
I know. So I got divorced and I kept doing it. So
Jen, that's amazing.
I know. It's either really crazy. So I had 4 biological children and 4 adopted kids. And then I kept doing it as a single mom. So I had the 14.
Wow.
I stopped doing foster care. And then my daughter, who's now getting ready to turn 28.
28.
I know. That
you
makes
look good for that being 28. Wow.
I bet we're also, she's the same age as I am now.
Wow.
So she's going to be in the 28 Forever Club.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or 22.
So I'm 49. So she and a mutual friend of ours fixed me up with this guy, the fixing up with the guy thing.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
I was not ecstatic about it, but they were fixing me up.
You gave him a shot.
I did give him a shot. And from that day, we've been together. He had 4 kids and his wife had died.
Wow.
So when
that's got to be hugely tough on him as a man.
Yeah, it was. He's an exceptional person. And I think struggles in life, like my own, like your own,
sure.
You either like get sucked in and perpetuate them and stay in that mind space, or you decide that that's not where you want to go.
That's not where you want to be.
And you change it. You change the story. Right. So I can tell you that he is very appreciative now in a different way because he lost his wife. He went through this, his own story as far as that goes. And we still have some of her ashes in my closet,
wow.
which was a little weird at first, but when she died, she had a sister who was only 15.
Wow.
And he saved some of his wife's ashes in the hopes that her sister would kind of grow up and want closure, and he would give her those ashes. So at first I was like, well, it's kind of creepy that you have your wife's ashes and they're in my house now. And then as soon as you hear that story, everybody's like, oh,
changes the story. Yes.
It changes the story. Right. So we have that, although His youngest daughter at the time, she was a baby when her mom died. She was 2. And I'm the only mom she's ever known. And I actually think she's 10 now. I actually think that it will be her. It will be he and a couple of his kids that end up spreading those ashes later on, and it will give them closure. But either way,
closure. Yes.
It's an exceptional story. So he's got a deeper and different appreciation of me and of just life in general because of his experience. So
wow.
Yeah.
And so then combine that, folks, that's 18 children.
That's 18. And when we met, I had 9 at home, and then 1 moved out. And when we moved in together, when we blended our family, we had 12 kids at home.
12.
And 12 for years. Wow. So it was pretty insane.
So you know how to do time management. You figured it out. You figured out how to manage time, because being a parent, that's the one thing you got to figure out. And patience. Time management and patience, folks.
And don't pray for either, because it'll
right. You got to figure it out. Figure it out. Yes. Yeah. Don't put too much emphasis on anything too, because then it kind of goes one way or the other. You push maybe some of those energies or things, like, when you start thinking about the negative happens. So
that's right.
That's what they say, so folks, can you imagine having 18 children? But how you did it is amazing, because that's part of your story. I have a really good friend, Kenny. He actually, shout out to my boy, Kenny, grew up on the streets too. And through the foster care program, got a great, foster parents, and his parents, especially his father, foster dad, Jim, was there for him like his real dad was never there for him, and he was living on the streets, and he was the one making the money because his mom was unfortunately using substances that, that put you on the streets, a lot of times. Yeah. And so thank goodness for the foster care program. You hear so many different types of stories and things about that, but I think that just look at your situation yourself, is like how much good can come from it, even being impacted. Now you've taken on 18 people to now have a good life and enjoy a better life than maybe they would have if they didn't have you, and you could have taken it the other way too. You could have said, okay, I'm going to just live a crazy life again. And I'm not going to take responsibility. And I wouldn't be able to be capable of having all these 18 kids if you decided to, like, just say, be on the streets and be a transient, you know what I mean? Like, you can't raise kids on the streets, 18, and so that's just amazing. I think that the impact that can happen from a bad situation,
It can. An impact can happen anytime. I think that we don't realize as human beings how much impact we make on others just in passing, and that most of the time we're not aware of the impact we're making. We can go through the drive-thru at Starbucks, and if the barista gets our order wrong, God forbid, it's real easy to tell them that he screwed up. But when you hear that voice on the other end of the intercom, and it's positive and it's fun and it makes you smile, we don't often just take a couple seconds to tell them how thankful we are that, hey, dude, your attitude was fantastic. You made me smile. Keep it up. Keep going. Yes. We don't know what path others are walking, and we don't know what our impact is. And really, I just feel like we're not going to know a lot of the time our impact. So what kind of impact do you want to make in the world?
What you want to make, folks? What do you want to make? And do you want to live in a life where you always think about the things that happened to you in the past? Because you can live in that life and it will just trap you, folks. It will just bury you. Or you can say, I'm getting out of this shit. I'm making a change. I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to put in the dedication. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to look in the mirror. I'm going to tell myself a different story. A lot of times it's that, telling yourself a different story of, if you're in a struggle, now the story is this. I know, folks, being a papa, entrepreneur that manages also have family, is sometimes the story could be, damn, I'm sacrificing a lot. I'm sacrificing my business. I'm sacrificing my social life, my golf time with my buddies. I'm sacrificing a lot. But if you reframe that and say, I have time with my daughter that I'll never get again. And I'm so grateful for these moments, even if we're at the grocery store. Like, for instance, this morning, we ran a bunch of errands already in the early morning. And that was fun for me because that's my special time with her. And I know that, that you don't get these times back. My daughter's coming up on 1 year, I know that time flies by now. I know that, now being a parent, it is everything they say is true, everything. So that gets me into then your story, and also the mom of 18. What made you interested in actually telling your story and putting it out there, on the internet, and getting the message spread to start the process of maybe even helping you with maybe the giving your mindset to others, because I'm sure if someone can have your mindset, they can get through anything. I feel like.
I think so. I think you can get through anything.
Yeah, if you can have 18 kids and grow from where you're absolutely.
For a while, I actually pushed against that. I felt like as a woman, as an entrepreneur, I was so many other facets. And as soon as people found out I was mom of 18, that's all they wanted to talk to me about.
Yes.
And there was a brief period of time where I thought, geez, there's more to me than just mom of 18.
Right.
And then I let it go. I'm like, actually, that's a huge part of who I am. I mean, I started infertility when I was 20 years old. I had my first baby at 21. It was planned. I was married. Wow. I did grow up way below poverty level. The street wasn't necessarily a terrible place. Sometimes it was better than the home life. And I got through this and didn't perpetuate it. And I thought if I could make a difference to one person by telling my story. So I wrote the book. I wrote a book about my life growing up.
Wow.
Until that first pregnancy. The book is Hello, My Name is Warrior Princess.
Wow.
And I did that because I personally felt like it was trapped inside me. And I wanted the story to have wings. I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to potentially make the difference. And if I made a difference to one, it was worth it. And I kind of got it out of myself. And that was so exciting. It was a proud moment being a published author.
Sure.
That I wanted to help other people. And the way I helped other people was the podcast.
Got you. That leads us into your podcast, The Naked Podcaster.
The Naked Podcaster.
Everyone's probably thinking on their minds, well, wow, is she really naked on that line?
I really am naked.
And she really is, folks. But the point is that it's almost more about letting all those inhibitions go away and the stereotypes and the things that hold us down and it's a freeing moment. Let's just be real. It's a freeing moment because you can't be naked in public. I mean, there's somewhat very limited places you can be naked, right? I mean, in general, unless you're on like a nudist beach somewhere, folks. And I've seen a few, actually, some crazy things in Florida, man. Some old guys wearing some crazy shit out there. But the point is that like it is a freeing moment. And so tell us about the journey of your podcast. What made you start it? What made you get into that?
I really wanted to help people write a book.
Gotcha.
Is how it started. I thought if 85% of people who want to write a book don't write a book, how can I help them? And that was like a square peg in a round hole. There wasn't a fit for me. I never found the fit to help people in that. And actually my husband's best friend had a really successful podcast. And he's like, Jen, you should just start a podcast, and gave me my first microphone. And it's May 2nd of 2020 will be my 3-year anniversary.
Good job. That's awesome.
Yep. I wrote the book. It was released August of 2016. And so what is that? 8 months later, the podcast was born. And basically it was a platform for people to write your book in an hour. You get to spend an hour of your time with me and share your story the way I shared my story in written form. And my whole goal was that I wanted people to be raw and vulnerable like I was when I wrote the book. I want you to, like, if I can find the information online, I want to dig deeper. If I make a guest cry or get super intense with their emotions, it's not because I want them to feel that pain, but it's that I want them to be that tapped into their story, their authenticity. I want them to really expose those things. And so the Naked Podcaster is about bearing it all.
Yes.
So I'm doing it literally, you're doing it figuratively by sharing your story.
Gotcha.
And that's how that platform was born. I think I have this, there's words that are kind of mantras, and one of mine is freedom. So I had a realtor about 15 years ago ask me, well, what do you want in a house? And I said, I want to be able to pee off my front porch. And like with 12 kids at home and 18 kids total, I don't have many space issues. It's real hard to invade my space. But with my neighbors, I want to be able to pee off my porch. I do not want to hear pass the butter through the window. I don't want to hear their toilet flush.
Right.
In that sense, I really need a little bit more freedom. And I had a coach about 5 or 6 years ago ask me, what's your ideal business? And I said, I don't want to have to wear pants.
Nice.
And so I have this theme in my life of wanting freedom. I freed my story by writing the book. Right. I free other people's story by them sharing it. And so the Naked Podcaster is kind of an amalgam of my personality of wanting that freedom to kind of bear it all. And the fact that if I was willing to do that in my book, I want other people to be able to do that on the podcast. I really, really want them to share the shit show, their story, and dig deep. And the reason is that when you have that listener, that one that you want to make a difference to, you want them to be able to feel like they're not alone. Oh my God, there's somebody out there that gets me. You were on my podcast, right? We talked about your struggle with obesity.
Absolutely.
So people that are struggling with that, I want them to hear your story and think, oh my God, there's somebody who gets me.
Let's get through this.
Yes. And then I also want you to share who, what, when, where, how did you get, or are you still getting through that struggle? Because I want people to build their toolbox in life. I think unintentionally, when I wrote the book, I looked back at being a kid and I realized, I'm building all of these tools to get through life. I'm building this toolbox of skills that helps me to be able to cope, or helps me get through things, or helps me to create a positive mindset. And I want people to see that through your struggle, what are the tools that you built? What are the tips and tricks that you have? So one, I want them to feel less alone. And two, I want to help build the toolbox for life to help people be more successful in their struggle. And that's how it was born.
So that leads us into what have you learned like the most? I mean, I'm sure that it's just so amazing when you have a podcast because you don't know what's going to happen. There's like kind of an unpredictable outcome. Yeah, you might have like wanted to get this guest on. And so you're like excited. I've read their book. I've already watched some videos about them. I already know about them. And then you get them on the show and it's not always what you think. Maybe it didn't turn out as well. Maybe because you were more nervous as a guest because you now know who these people are. It's like me interviewing The Rock. I'm looking at The Rock's face right here, but it's like me interviewing The Rock. I would be nervous for that interview, folks. I mean, I think in person, I would be less nervous because I could get to physically meet him and embrace his energy. But through a platform like a Zoom or anything like that, or a phone call or whatever, I'll freaking be nervous. I mean, I just would be because he's the freaking Rock, folks. You don't want to mess up this interview. But the interesting thing I've always found is that like you actually get a lot from guests that you don't have high expectations from. And you just kind of go into
more so.
Free form and free spirit, and you kind of feel less of that pressure to deliver or whatever, and then just a great interview comes out, you know? So is that fun for you? Is that fun, like the intrinsic part that you enjoy as well?
Yeah, I like it to feel like you and I are sitting down for a cup of coffee and I'm just getting to know you more than you're getting to know me. I mean, I really want it to be natural and authentic. I never have questions prepared at all. I've never prepared a question, but I do ask when you sign up for at least bullet points about your story. So I have kind of an idea of where you're coming from. I ask for all the social media links. So I cyber stalk you prior to an interview because I want to learn more about you. And I also want to know that all of that information means we're taking it deeper from there. If I can find it online, anybody can. So I'm really about digging deeper. I did have a guest on, Sean Stevenson. He was the 3-foot giant. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2019. And he was like a bigger name. He was more well-known. And I said to him, I was grateful that he accepted the opportunity to be a guest. And then I get him on, and I don't think I was nervous. But what I said to him was like, I think it's great that you have such a big following. And that's really impressive. However, we can't talk about the stuff that you've already talked about. You have to go deeper. And he said, oh, we can go deeper. And I was like, okay. And he talked about how, he was born with this disease where he was 3 feet tall and in a wheelchair. Wow. And so I naturally have a conversation and I ask questions that I want to know the answer to. And by doing that, my goal is that I'll ask questions that other people haven't. And he talked about how he hired prostitutes. And he's like, at the end of the show, he's like, my parents don't know that. Like I can't believe I talked about that. But that's what you want. You want to have a natural conversation where this person really opens up. And building trust. Platform. You do. You build trust. I'm not going to do anything negative with this information. I honestly want it. I want you to share it in your genuine way. And I want to get it out to the world. And I want it to make a difference to someone else.
So you're really like almost like a therapist in a way for these people, in a way, helping them out.
Definitely a coach. Definitely a coach.
Yeah. So that leads us into coaching. You like to coach. You like to help folks.
I love to coach.
Get more success from their life. Those obstacles we see in our lives, those things we see in our lives that are challenging us, those things that we see in ourselves from our past. My girl Jenn is trying to help you get through those things, not only from her podcast, but you can actually work with her where you do like one-on-one coaching, things like that. You're working with the clients?
Yep, I do one-on-one coaching. And here's the thing. When a mom or a dad, but mostly moms, because women and women, we have a thing together, right?
Of course.
They hear I have 18 kids and they have 2. And the first thing they say is, well, I can't even handle 2. I can't imagine. Like you're failing somehow. You're not freaking failing. Okay. It's not a competition. I'm not competing against you in any way, shape, or form. 2 is hard and 2 is 2, and embrace that. What 18 kids has given me and what my experience growing up on the street and being molested and all the experiences that I had, it just has given me more opportunities to grow and more opportunities to fail. And because I've had more opportunities to fail and to grow, I just have more experience. It's just a higher rate of experience. It is not a competition.
Right.
So can I help you? Yeah, there's a high potential that I can. Do I have all the answers? No.
Right.
I don't have all the answers. I'm not a perfect parent. I've screwed up more times.
Yes. Well, and I think anyone in that situation that is a mom needs maybe a coach like that, needs someone in their corner, an advocate to tell them like, you're doing good. Because I even know for myself as a dad, it's like, sometimes you just need to hear you're doing good. I know I'm sacrificing my whole life in a way for my daughter because I've changed my whole life. I watch her 4 days a week, 100%. Now, I also watch her those other 3 days a week, 100% too. But I just also have a parent that's also helping me because she's actually off work. But folks, it ain't easy. So like she said, it's not, I always say that all the time. I tell my wife that all the time, because when you have kids like at the same age, there's always parents that are like trying to compete. I'm sure you know this, obviously. Parents are trying to compete, oh, my kid can do this, and my kid can jump off the roof and do this, and my kid can do this on one leg. And, and so, like, especially when they're young. And I find that, like, I always say it's not a race. It is definitely a marathon, folks. And with your children, do not race other parents to whatever. The kid's going to figure it out. Like, if your kid's not picking up a certain thing this week, next week is picking it up. It's not like it's going to be 2 years from now. I know that specifically because I'm a new dad. And sometimes you do think, oh shit, is like my daughter slow? And it's like, no, don't worry, Pops. She's going to be doing this, this, and this in a few weeks or less. And then now I'm looking at a year. I'm like, oh shit, in 1 year, she's going to be walking all over this house, telling me what to do, busting in my room, not wanting to take a nap. So I'm enjoying this right now. I'm like, this is the
exactly
of enjoyment. So yeah, I think that you can definitely help moms. I think that the other way that you can continually help, and I think that you already helping, is your podcast continues to grow.
Yeah.
Guests, continue to get great guests on, I think I love the story part, that you really get into their story, because I think that's so important. I think that, well, everybody has a business maybe, but you see the business and it's not actually the story.
It's
you
not
go
actually
to realtimeoutsource.com, folks. It ain't the story of T Huff. Let me just tell you right now.
Right.
It maybe should be, but it can't completely be, because T Huff is not Real Time Outsource. I am the owner. I am the overseer. I'm the provider of the income to the team, but the Real Time Outsource is its own thing. And same with the Be Real Show. It's its own thing. Even though I am the host, what has built this show up to where we're at today is the guests, period. There ain't a question about it. If I was 200 episodes in and just doing myself and talking to you, yeah, I might be able to put out the 200 episodes because I do have that kind of persistence to kind of keep going. But I know, folks, that the show would not have the amplification. It would not have the network that I've gotten and the knowledge that I've gotten from interviewing others. So from this today, folks, I'd like you to also be inspired to start your own podcast, because I think that podcasting is cool. I think it's a great way to market yourself. It's a great way to build your business. Something that I do, folks, inherently. This is just me inherently of who I am. I'm a salesperson. I'm a business owner. Always been that. But I like to build communities, and podcasting is its own community. The Be Real Show, its own community. The Naked Podcaster has her own community with her own social followings and her own influence and her own email lists and everything. And so it builds, right? And so, the biggest thing I think most folks fail at, and this is just between me and you, and I give you tons of acumen for rocking 3 years now, is that they give up after 7 shows. They give up after 10 pieces of content.
You're kidding.
Oh, yeah. The average podcast, folks, gives up under 10. The average YouTube channel gives up under 10. The average freaking social media campaigns and ads and things like that give up. I wouldn't say under 10, but maybe, quickly, and so, or a blog. The average blog, they say, has less than 10 pieces of content on it.
Oh my gosh, I've had mine for over 8 years.
That's what I'm saying. So shout out to you. It takes perseverance when you're not seeing maybe the numbers in the beginning. Like I remember looking at my Libsyn and seeing like not many people are listening, and then to come in certain days, we have like 1,000 people listening on a certain given download day. And you're just like, what the fuck? That's crazy. Like that. This is happening, that these people, I don't necessarily all know all these people. The show is getting out there. Even with Libsyn, you can't get all the analytics. So maybe there's even more than that out there that are being listened to. So the whole point in the validation of it all is that, yes, the numbers do grow. But more importantly, folks, on podcasting is think of it as the best way to build a community. Once you build a community that people care about, then you can go make money from it. Because you can do a variety of different things. Me and Jen were just talking right before the podcast about affiliate marketing partnerships. People will pay you to do posts. We have a blog, a music blog, because of my story and my journey is, some people do know this, obviously they listen to the show. Too Tallin is my music name. If you go look it up there, Too Tallin has its own music following, its own music thing. And I continue to do music, but I'm just not doing it at the same level that I wanted to back then, because honestly, folks, it wasn't making me any money. And I had to say, tailor this back a little bit, figure a better way to spend your time. Okay, let's build a completely separate thing, because the most important thing in music is distribution. The most important thing in anything nowadays is distribution. And that's meaning like why Kylie Jenner gets paid, $500,000 per post that she does on Instagram is because she has a huge distribution of people that are willing to watch her content on social. And so you have to think that way. So I started Music Vibes between me and you, Jen, and it's actually making money. Like,
what?
Music Vibes is making us revenue. It's a side hustle. It's not necessarily our main thing. Me and my wife also manage, folks, a funny cat page on Facebook that has 156,000 followers on there. We get paid different partnerships from people that write books on cats. It's not going to be enough money, folks, to go out and buy yourself a Lamborghini or pay for a house payment or anything like that. But when you're building the community, it keeps building. It keeps growing. The numbers, they don't have to triple. They just have to continually kind of keep going a little bit more. So the main thing I give a shout out to you, Jen, is that the perseverance, the consistency, which is huge. That says something about who you are, your energy and your willingness to put in that work, because a lot of people would have already given up. Just be transparent, because the average podcast has 7 or less. You've been blogging for 8 years, so shout out to you. And so that just means that, there's lots of blessings to come for all of us, all our businesses, everything can grow. Your podcast can grow, the YouTube channels, anyone's content that you want to put out grow. However, the one thing you have to do is be consistent, like my girl, Jen. Put out content and keep at it. Keep growing. Keep pushing yourself to be better, to pull out those stories, But now we're about to take you, Jen, into our top 10. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Netflix or YouTube?
Ooh. Wow. That's a tie for me.
Tie? Okay, cool.
It's Absolutely. A tie. It's a tie.
Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Chicken or steak?
Steak.
Laptop or smartphone?
Laptop.
Spotify or Pandora?
Pandora.
Movies or video games?
Movies.
Reading books or listening to books?
Reading.
Stocks or real estate?
Real estate.
Oceans or lakes?
Ooh, again, a tie. It's a tie.
Depends on your mood.
It depends on the mood.
Yes. Have you ever been to a nude beach?
Yeah, we have one here at Tahoe.
Really?
Yeah.
In South Lake Tahoe or what side?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is one.
I always said if I was able to make a lot of money, folks, off one of my investments doing well, my business continues to grow or whatever. And there was a reason to then play the tax benefit of moving from California to somewhere else. South Lake Tahoe, folks, or Reno, or somewhere close to that area, because it's so beautiful. Such a great vibe in that area, and that water that water in Tahoe is insane. Yeah. How clear it is. It's just insane how much they protect and care and preserve such a beautiful lake. Because as you know, if you've gone to other lakes, that shit ain't the same. I'll tell you right now.
It's not the same.
We got Bass Lake, Millerton Lake, we got Huntington Lake, we got all sorts of lakes here, and not too long away, like an hour away, you can get to like 20 lakes. I don't even know, but a lot. None of them are even close. I mean, none of them, you get a glass of that water, it's going to look like mud, compared to like, I literally remember jumping into the Lake Tahoe. We rented a boat, drove it to like the middle, and I just said, fucking jump in. It was really cold, but like, I remember looking like around for those brief seconds before I felt like I caught hypothermia. And I was like, this is the most beautiful thing to see underwater in a lake that clear. Because a lot of times when you're, unless you're in a pool, outside of a pool, like it's all kind of muddied. You know what I mean? Like whether you don't want to open your eyes really in the ocean, but if you're in a lake, it's like, you don't want to see what's down there. A lot of people are scared. What's buried in the lake? What's down there. But that's one that's just like so beautiful. Outside of Lake Nessie, right? We don't know if there's actually Lake Nessie. She could be still out there.
I think it exists. Yeah.
Do you really?
There. Oh, just believe in it. Yeah.
I believe in it too then, folks. So, but if you were to play the tax game, folks, if you were to make a lot of money, go move yourself to South Lake Tahoe. Beautiful, beautiful area. Oh, man. When you wake up in the morning, Jen, why do you love being you? The naked podcaster.
I have the ability to help that one at a time.
Right. That's the only way you can do it, folks.
I have the ability to make a difference in someone's life that day.
And that makes you, that gives you another type of fulfillment besides just monetary.
Correct. Yeah.
Besides just making money, which is important too. Making money is important. Do you think you'll ever retire? Do you think there'll be a day you say, I'm done. The naked podcaster is done. We're not.
I can't imagine that at this point. I mean, and now that I know the stats even less, I'm going to retire even less. Now I want to be like the longest podcast, and you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that lit a different fire under me. No, there's no goal to ever stop. And
Good.
People are booking up months and months in advance. So I'm glad that I put the energy out there that I'm not going anywhere.
Yes. The guest promo thing would kill it for you.
Yeah.
Like we talked about?
Yeah.
Would kill it for you because I think so. You have so many people wanting to come on the show that you just follow up with them and give them this opportunity. And that's boom, extra streams of revenue. When you start your day, do you have a routine? How you start your day? How do you get your day going?
I set my alarm, even though I don't have to get up. Like I don't have to be awake until 8:00 in the morning, but I set my alarm 3 days of the week. I go running and I get up at 4:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays to go running.
Wow. How long will you run?
We run 4.5 miles every Tuesday and Thursday. It's a group of women.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
We leave at 5:20 and we run 4.5 miles. And then I run with them at 6:30 in the morning on Saturday. So I like to get up before everyone. I'm a morning person. I like to have that cup of coffee and just have it very quiet. I'm a super extroverted person. And so me learning to have that quiet time and be introspective took a lot of training on my part. And now I have a great appreciation. But, I get up, I get kids ready for school, I walk the dog, and then I jump into my day. So I have that time to pregame, basically. I pregame my day every day.
Absolutely. There's nothing like a workout in the morning. My perfect time would be like around 9 usually back in the day when I'd have like my free schedule before kids and obviously running my own business. I can kind of pick and choose and I'd hammer workout in the morning and then I'd kind of take a break after 3 or 4 hours and I'd go hit the gym at like a slower time, when there's not as many people in there. But like after going now to the gym at like in the 4:45, 5 o'clock time, it's nothing like it. Even though it's super busy there, because I didn't realize there's a lot of people that do go to the gym that early because they're working and stuff. But there's just nothing like when you get home and it's like 6:30, you've already worked out, you've already had your breakfast, everything, and you're just like in the zone. Daughter, no problem. Let's go to the store. Let's go to the bank. Let's go to the office. Let's go to the freaking dry cleaner. Let's go drop off clothes of the Salvation Army. I did all that this morning. Just because I have that energy, you know what I mean, from the workout.
Yeah, absolutely. I also think, you want to put yourself in the right mindset and you want to take care of yourself. And for me, for a long time with all these kids, the only time I had to work out was if I did it early in the morning. So if it's a priority, I'll get my ass out of bed and I'll get it done. And I have no excuses. So I either do an at-home workout or I go running every morning.
That's awesome. What kind of at-home workouts would you do? Like a HIIT cardio?
I just do body weight.
Body weight stuff?
Just body
weight squats or push-ups?
100 squats a day, people. 100 squats a day.
Dang! Jen's been working on those squats, girl. She's got the glutes. Watch out, folks. Watch out. She's bringing them. She's bringing the heat. That's awesome. Good for you. It's so important to be able to squat, to be able to do a squat, because there's a lot of people in this world that are 20 can't do a squat. And
It's just
so,
about being active and staying healthy.
right,
And,
right.
I mean, that was important to me.
Body weight stuff is the most too important because as we age, folks, that's going to all that's going to matter, like
Yeah.
picking up the groceries off the ground, picking the kid up and not blowing out your back, whatever. That's going to be the things that matter, folks, especially when we get into our later ages. So instead of lifting these crazy hard weights and stuff like that, which might get you hurt, you're better off doing stuff that's body weight as much as you can. Push-ups, sit-ups, jumping rope, jumping jacks, just so many squats. I like the ones with like where you do alternating legs, stuff with legs, because for me, I'm 260 pounds. So I like, it's a lot of weight just lifting up and down when you're doing multiple legs. And that just strengthens you when you have your legs strong, and no weights needed. You can just do it anywhere. So do you have a skill that you want to master this year? Now we're in 2020. Is there a skill you're looking to master, something to be better at?
Well, yeah, marketing for sure.
For sure. Yes.
Building that
This is the year this is the year of you killing it in marketing.
Yeah.
This is the year.
It's the hardest thing for me. So
leveling up and putting effort into marketing. If it's social media, whatever it is, Jen, the key is just self-learning as much as you can. And then at some point doing it, realizing how much time it's going to take. Okay, it takes 2 hours to do this. I can't do that. Find someone else that can do it. Show them exactly how you do it. And then you're on the way. Because, I mean, the more people that you can kind of get working for you, even doing 2 hours a week, if someone's just doing little things, just like you've already probably done to get the show and podcast and everything, is like, it just makes your life easier. Even though it's a little bit of money, it just makes your life easier. And then you can go do stuff. So I think that's the most important thing with marketing is that you learn it first yourself, because there's a lot of gurus, there's a lot of shit courses, there's a lot of bull crap out there.
I think I've taken them all.
Well, I have too.
All the shit courses. I think I've done that already.
The truth is, just like in my business, it's been 10 years. Like nothing comes easy. Nothing comes fast. Every client that we've built their pages up, it's been over time. I know certain things that will work for sure right now. I could tell you folks right now, 3 things that will work for sure on your Facebook page. Not necessarily on Instagram right now, because Instagram is going through its own algorithm changes right now. If you've experienced people that used to have 1 million followers or how to have 1 million followers, they used to get, 100,000 people per post liking their posts, now are getting 10,000. So they're getting 1/10 of what they used to get. And this year they're going to continue to monetize. So that's going to keep going down. So you got to find ways to get organic traffic. Now on a Facebook page, folks, if you want organic traffic, all you got to do is this: find funny memes about your business. So you find funny memes about naked people, possibly. That would be a funny one. I mean, I'm not necessarily on Facebook, but this is just an idea. Doesn't have to show everything. That's one.
Right.
Funny things about moms, obviously, would be another one. Like mom viral memes that are just funny, like that are overwhelmed moms, that are things like that, guaranteed to work. Do a funny Friday, do a funny Sunday, do a funny Saturday. Those will be, folks, your most shared meme, most shared post of the week. Second is a contest. Give away something. Whatever. I'll tell you real quick. I'll show you guys right now what I give away. I picked them up this morning with my daughter. A $5 Starbucks gift card. This is a $5 Starbucks gift card. All you have to do is play a game on your page. Look up timeline contests on Google. There's 1 million different types of contests. Give away a $5 gift card to get engagement, to get people to engage with that post. The most important thing on all these platforms, folks, is that people engage. Mm-hmm. If you are posting and no one is commenting, liking, or anything on your post, the follower is less likely to see your next post. The more times that they don't comment and like, just like a friend, you don't see their post anymore. Yeah. You can literally test this right now, because what I can do is if you direct message a friend that you haven't talked to in a while, you'll instantly, and they comment back to you and they start talking to you, you'll instantly start seeing their posts in the Facebook feed, even if you haven't seen them for a while. Okay. So something about engagement is so important on these platforms. So to get a $5 gift card, I'll give you the contest idea, folks. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100. That's it.
77.
There you go. You're the winner, Jen. You win.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I totally deserve this.
You totally deserve it, girl. Hey, boom. Wham. I know you don't like Starbucks, but hey, it's a simple $5. It's a simple $5 gift. You can give $5 in cash. You can do whatever you want. Someone will engage. Hundreds of thousands of millions of people over the years have engaged with our posts that are giving away cards. $5, $10, $20. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. Get the engagement. Last thing you can do, and this is for you too, Jen, is that a motivational post per week. Do stuff that's motivational. Do stuff that is emotional. Tell a story or motivate. Now, the first post, the funny ones, will always get the most love. The second ones will get you be your second most engaged because it's a contest. People are going to win something. That one actually might be your number one. You don't know, but usually funny first, contest, and then last, like an engaging motivational quote. Type in motivation quotes, or whatever, motivational mom quotes, anything like that. Share those. And for you, how you build your following too is anyone that's referenced. Maybe it's Sarah Blakely. Maybe it's someone else that's like that's an awesome mom that's also putting this quote out. Tag them. Because you never know. Some of these people might see your stuff and say, hey, thanks a lot, Jen, for sharing the love. You just never know. And so that's just another way too, is you find quotes from other people, you share them, you tag them, they say, thank you so much. Now they maybe reshare the post, etc. How I basically started my podcast was I just start tweeting at people that I wanted to have on the show, and I just get them on the show. I mean, there's a million people that I haven't had on the show. I've tweeted Taylor Swift many times. I've tweeted everybody you can think of that's big, many a times. And what I do is I just share their content and tag them, but I've also had Rick Ross and some of the biggest music people in hip hop retweet my stuff. I've had some of the most biggest people like my boy Trey Aikman retweet me and comment back with his little thoughts and messages about my daughter, and we were celebrating a little birthday thing. But the point is that in general, folks, if you don't take the effort or initiative, you don't know what's going to come. You know what I mean? So that's just another final strategy, is the motivation ones tend to always work too. Those three things, you do those three things every week, folks. You don't need T-Huff. You don't need a social media guru. That shit's going to work for you. I guarantee it. Last couple questions here, my friend, is do you have a favorite app on your phone that you like using?
An app on my phone that's my favorite. Well, I think Instagram's probably the one that I use the most. Yeah. That's my favorite for sure.
Absolutely. IG is a great app. Owned by Facebook, if you see it now.
Yeah, I don't like that part, but I like Instagram still.
Yes. It's been owned by Facebook, though. So people are just starting to realize that Instagram, WhatsApp, a lot of these things are actually owned by Facebook. That's okay. Zuckerberg is getting richer, folks. No worries. He's going to give 99% of all his money away. So be real. Tonight for dinner, you could sit down to dinner with anyone in the world. Who would it be?
I think Ellen DeGeneres.
Ooh, Ellen. That would be a great guest.
Yeah, I have
naked with you too. Do you think she'd get naked, or her wife?
I would get naked with Ellen. Not,
I would get naked with Ellen too, but I mean, hey.
I'm not trying to offend Portia or anything. It's not like that.
It's not like that. Just
if I could be a guest somewhere, or I could chill out for dinner, it would definitely be Ellen.
She is amazing. I love her.
I just love her energy.
I do too. Yeah. I think that we just said the same word.
I know.
Yes, exactly. People love her energy. When you see her, she's quirky, funny. She says a lot of interesting, funny things, maybe controversial at some point, but also just how fun she feels, And so like you see the setup of her show, we need these things in this world, folks. We have all these down, depressing Dr. Phil, Maury Povich. I'm not your dad. I'm going to fight on Jerry Springer. You remember these folks. You remember Jerry Springer.
Oh, yeah.
The point is that her show, and like I wish more shows would move towards that. It's just about fun. They like to dance. They get up and do a little dance thing. You know what I mean? The whole vibe of the show, how it's set up and scripted, just great job to who are producers too, because they've made that show. How's she ever going to go out? I mean, this is a consistent.
I don't know.
Show.
I hope not.
She'll probably go out when she's done. When she wants to just stop.
I'll take over her show for her.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I like it.
Segue in.
We might have to put it on Showtime or on HBO because Jen is going to be fully in the buck. Fully in the buck, folks. What is a book that has changed your life? Do you have a book that has changed your life?
Actually, I do, and it's an odd one. It's called Wear More Cashmere. Wear More Cashmere, I know, by Jen Sanders. And it's the last gift my ex-husband gave to me on Mother's Day, and definitely the best one he ever gave me. And what she does is she gives you like 101 ideas to do fun things for yourself, like create your own family crest, it helps you think out of the box, create your alter ego name. But her favorite chocolate pudding recipe. It's just really about taking care of yourself. But her twist was unique and different and gives you a lot of ideas that are super outside the box. And it was probably 15 years ago, and I have never stopped using it.
Really? So you just kind of keep it in the back room.
I just love the
pull it out and find something new. That's cool. Wear more cashmere. We'll find that online. We'll get the show notes on that one. That is amazing. Can you give our listeners, Jenn, one last real talk thought? What would you like to drop on them today?
You can make a difference.
Ooh, you can make a difference, folks. She said it. And where is the best place for people to find you?
Momof18.com. Momof18.com. All my social media links are there. You can reach out to me. I love connecting. I think it's interesting. Sometimes people connect and they're like, yeah, I'm sorry. I know my story's not good enough. Yeah, bullshit. Stop telling yourself and everybody else that lie. Your story is good enough, and that's where you can find me. There's no guest that I've ever said no to.
Ooh, so you guys could be a guest on our show if you have a story. Tell your story.
You don't even have to get naked.
You don't even have to get naked.
I'll get naked for you.
There you go. She's going to bring the heat for you, folks. Well, folks, you've been hanging out with the Naked Podcaster and the mom of 18, Jenn Taylor, and Travis Too Tall and Huff. I want to thank you again for your time today, folks, and let's keep being real. Right now, more than ever, folks, we need to work on our reputation for our businesses and get those reviews, get those positive reviews, get those positive recommendations on both on your social, but also to market on your website. And that is why you want to check out my business, folks, our software, realtimereputation.us. That's realtimereputation.us. Please check it out. It is literally the best thing that's ever happened to many of our campaigns, as that reviews bring together your social and digital campaigns. And the more positive reviews, as people are making those positive, decisions, they're looking at your, at your reviews. And so the more you can get, the better. And make it easy and automated with realtimereputation.us. Check us out. What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today.